Emmy-nominated American Morning. CNN, weekdays 6 Eastern.
According to a report in the New York Times, maybe $1 trillion in natural resources that had been, until recently, unnoticed in this country, a war-ravaged country whose basically its economy is pegged on poppy and has been fighting with the Taliban for control of what small resources it has. According to this report, there are deposits that include iron, copper, cobalt, gold, lithium, and a top Pentagon official telling the New York Times that it could be the Saudi Arabia of lithium. Why does that matter? It's in the batteries of just about everything that you touch that make you more efficient, your BlackBerries, all different kinds of electronic devices. Right. Aratia Bowie says that back in January, Hamid Karzai mentioned in a press conference that they had spent $17 million for a mineral survey and that they had found a lot of stuff. The question is, what do you do with it, and how long does it take to go on the path of a poppy-run government that's basically war ravaged and only a $12 billion GDP to something that is a mineral leader.
The optimistic side is this could become the backbone of the economy, that a great infrastructure influx could happen, and that this could be a real business that employs people. The flip side is it opens the country up again to competing people trying to take it over.
Of course.
Internally and externally.
Maybe gives the Taliban even more reason to fight as hard as they possibly can. Maybe gives the government more reason to do deals with China and other countries that want to buy access to natural resources. It's very unclear what this trillion-dollar treasure trove would mean for the country and its development, but for the people of Afghanistan to know that there could potentially be this source of economic development, that's exciting. And I think that's what a lot of people at the Pentagon and also people who've been following what's happened to this country are looking at.
So how involved would the U.S. have to get to make sure that it doesn't fall into the hands of the bad guys?
I mean, that's the big question. All of these things are huge question marks. When you look at other countries who have had a big windfall, it hasn't always meant that the U.S. got a piece of it, could direct it, or it actually went to the benefit of the people.
Africa and diamonds comes to
mind.
Yeah,
that's a big one there, right? And whenever you look at, for example, so let's mention Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabian oil. That country catapulted from tribal nomadic culture in the early 1970s to this huge oil superpower, but it still is one of those countries where women can't have a job. It doesn't necessarily mean this country can transform overnight, but it is certainly an exciting development. And also, we're watching stocks in Afghanistan up. Mining companies who don't even have any exposure to Afghanistan, those stocks are up in London trade. So clearly, the markets are looking at this and saying, "Oh, there's something happening here," and they think it's real.